I'm doing it for my daughter.
It's a thing's
you
a
know
noble
what it is.
device.
It's noble.
The Apple products are the devil.
They don't care.
They suck.
There's no sound coming out of them.
The Apple product is getting shittier.
Really?
It's just been sliding down. They haven't innovated anything since Steve Jobs died, obviously. But there's a look up. Can you Google refinement culture, and also the engineer's dilemma? These are two things that are kind of fascinating, but these are big reasons why everything sucks nowadays. And then also engineer's dilemma.
Now, when you say you notice the Apple product slides, like I would believe you, but what are the things
keyboard? The keyboard I would say barely works. I would say it barely
You're talking
works.
about MacBooks?
If you listen, and you have to redefine your definition of works. Because people will hear me say this and they'll look at their iPhone and they'll say, mine works.
You're right.
If it makes you, if I text my girl, want a duck,
Right.
and I look like a fucking, and it's not funny. I might as well just text her, I'm a want a duck.
Yeah.
That makes me so fucking mad, man.
What does it mean?
It doesn't let you type fuck.
It doesn't let you type it.
It fucking autocorrects the fucking shit.
You're joking,
And
right?
I type OMW and it's for on my way, and it types capital on my way exclamation point.
Oh, so it's got a little bit of a flair.
On my way. On my way. Chris, are you at the office, Chris? I'm on my way.
I just got to get rid of that.
Is it the replace? Because that doesn't work either, Christopher.
You have to meet an Apple technician at the stable.
And
it's worked worse.
that aside, the swiping,
Nothing works anymore like it did 10 years ago.
it fucking doesn't work, man.
Swiping.
The swiping to
it used to
type
be
a word.
perfect 10 years ago. Perfect.
It was on my Samsung
good.
Note, and probably on yours too.
It's still good.
It was perfect.
You can do it with your eyes closed,
It was
driving one hand.
perfect.
Yes.
Driving 90 miles an hour. Text.
It is getting worse.
Send a fucking
No,
paragraph.
you're right though. Even
The
since
iPhone.
It's worse.
The iPhone can't do 3 words.
Weird.
It can't do 3 words. Hey, I'm coming to the office. I hope you guys are there. Hey, shit, fuck, bakery.
It seems like
What the fuck?
Seems like an oversight that's pretty significant on that end.
Asterisk though, it does work if you install the Google keyboard, but that sends everything that you type to Google.
Every character.
that's how they do it.
I mean, that's what you do in the iPhone if you want to.
Because there's a different set of parameters.
Keyboard access gives you all the characters typed, and they just store it. I mean, it does that with every single device anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But who knows what kind of connection it's going through? If you're on an Apple phone, sending your passwords and shit to Google, like it's just.
I would have to believe that Apple would, like people are like, oh, Apple, Android phone people are so stubborn. It's one of those things where like I've been made fun of. You guys are all on that, and then everybody left, and I just stayed because I'm old and stupid. But doesn't like the backdoor? Doesn't Apple have like the biggest Chinese backdoor bullshit problem?
Yeah, there's some FBI thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I remember that specifically, a hardware thing.
Yeah, like where Apple's never. You might as well buy the stock when you hear they get the government contract like that.
Yeah,
because they're never going anywhere because they just admitted that they're playing ball.
They just got a weapons contract.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to buy when that's happening.
But you're swiping now. It's not because swiping. I used to love swiping.
Doesn't work.
Because mine doesn't work either.
It's over.
Because I used to, like you said, as soon as you said you could, I do remember a time when I was driving, not even looking at the road,
and
and going like that.
No problem, flawless.
Yeah, you look down and
You
it's
could write
one
a book.
word off.
Write a book while you're driving. You can do anything you want.
Yeah. Can you
Auto
put some money?
send.
You know, I would put forth. It's not a popular opinion, but I would put forth it's a function of intentional frustration and psychological warfare. I would put that forth.
I hope someone gets for it.
You can't kill like a machine or something that's not alive. Yeah.
Imagine if it legitimately was just like AI creation, where like no one proposed the idea.
No, who gets
it
these
was
ideas?
never said aloud by a human, but it was just done and like it never got caught.
Now you know who else could have these ideas other than something that's not even human? Who else? Only a machine or something else? I mean, I understand. It makes
Probably
sense.
Jared Leto could.
Like incompetence and people, and like I understand that angle, but things are so quality of life destroying and bamboozling. They can only be nefarious.
Do the BHIV link there, refinement culture.
Refinement. What is refinement culture?
It's when you have something good, right? You have V10, V12, F1 cars. You have 90s Mercedes, etc. And then you have to continue refreshing it and making it new. if you reach the zenith, if you reach the local matrix of like what is the local maxima of what is the best, there's nowhere to go but down. And the one way to scroll down here, one way to go about it is simplification. And well, this is refinement culture. It's just the streamlining,
even in the branding,
the streamlining of stuff that should not be streamlined. And it goes, the most obvious place for it is in logos and packaging design. That's where it becomes most apparent. But it's it pervades. It's pervasive everywhere.
Is it like purvey the thought of simplification to the consumer, to they realize they're on a train as opposed to showing up to a snack stand?
It's just like with the UI. The same thing happened with the UI in Apple. All the icons that you got used to, I guess, whatever, they get stripped down until it's very silly. And I just think it's just to get people used to lowering the bar of visual quality and beauty and aesthetics, just to annihilate. It annihilates aesthetics.
On a level that normal people
that people don't catch on until it's all across the board. Everyone is refined, and then they're like this: "You're paranoid. You're crazy. This is actually cool. We're just making it zippy." No.
Scroll down, Chris.
Everything worse and worse and worse. Everything.
Like, yeah, that's a good one. Tesla.
I think it's just the byproduct of being a designer and not knowing what to do. There's like with the exterior of the McDonald's, there's stuff that. There's a the number of factors that go into this, like anything. There's the cost of materials. There's the lack of people who know how to, that type of building. I would imagine is way easier than building something that looks.
It is
that it's just a pile. It's just like a fucking box.
There's no curves.
Forced brutalism.
Yeah.
Forced brutalism.
It's brutalism that's forced by material cost and lack of skilled labor and architects.
Would a fair conversation be to say that like popular minimalism put forth by like guys like Steve Jobs in the early 2000s or mid 2000s or whatever, whenever that like ultima clear Japanese minimalism sort of like was the start, because everybody's trying to imitate that like sleek.
Yeah.
One button.
I think that's all. It all ties together.
It's all kind of the same. It's like a domino effect of like whatever.
It's been going on forever. Every time they bulldoze or demolish something that's been around for 150 years that looks splendid, I don't know what the style is of it. They annihilate it and they turn it into a concrete cube. It's like it's the thing that they love to do.
Scroll down, Chris.
What's
the first text here say? Subtle shift, blah blah blah.
Essentially, it's warfare on beauty. Is essentially what it is.
It's funny that like you said, logo and packaging design. You guys are able to like compartmentalize it from that point, like to take it apart and be like it's logo and design.
I think that's where it's most obvious.
Yeah.
Go to the engineer's dilemma, Chris, because that's also interesting. So it's when you have a product again that's reached a local maxima, and there's no way to make it better. Like there's a lot of computer softwares like this. In the Windows 95 era, those old programs, they look immediate. It's extremely basic looking, but what they do their job perfectly. And they're like, if you know how a computer program is laid out, you can jump into like advanced renamer. It's like perfectly obvious what the thing does, and it does it flawlessly every time. It's like if you're an engineer, if you're a software engineer employed by them, what do? If the software is perfect and there's no bugs,
you
get fired or you create busy work.
Yeah.
That's I think it's called the engineer's dilemma.
Like working yourself out of an occupation or out of the.
You put a cursor pack in the installer.
This article might be about something different, and I might have the title wrong. But yeah, if you have, it's why it ties into the refinement culture thing, the constant streamlining process. Because if you're a designer and you have the perfect product, what do? You can only ruin it. You can only make something where the novelty tricks people into thinking that it's somehow better.
Yeah.
Like you can't make something better. You can only make something that tricks people into thinking it's better, or that's for some reason it has a feature that's more desirable or something. It's got 22-inch wheels. Like if you look at Ferraris, 70s, 80s, 90s Ferraris, you can imagine 22-inch wheels on a car of that caliber of beauty. It would be absurd.
Yeah.
Like imagine 22-inch wheels on a Jaguar E-Type or something. It's boneheaded.
And now you couldn't sell one if it didn't have it on it.
Yeah, you have to have 22-inch wheels, low profile tires, all this stuff. It's just
foils.
The finding of new gimmicks that's related to this. It's the streamlining, the paring down, which I think designers have a lot of fear. I think designers, if they see something unique, like the reason Tesla is like, it is kind of shocking in its minimalism, but there's no element of a Tesla design that's like, well, with the exception of the Cybertruck, but there's no of a basic Tesla. There's no element of its design that's like startling or risky, or that's the kind of thing that would get a designer fired or something. Like
Right.
if you remember Chris Bangle, the flame surfacing of the BMWs, people got really mad at that.
Oh,
back in the day,
the Z4.
Yeah, that type of, like those 2000s BMWs with the weird, he calls it flame surfacing, which is the weird sort of like scalloped cuts in the side that make it look like the paint has a gradient to it.
Did he put this
Type in Chris
People hated it?
People hated it, yeah. Type in Chris Bangle flame surfacing.
spandex over the chassis guy?
That I think that's the same guy.
I mean, those cars did fucking suck though.
Yeah, they're not pretty, but this was like the end. This was the final, like the end of risky stuff in design.
Right.
Like this was the last go of a designer at making something. And the M6 would be the probably the one to look at. Those first two images, M6 concept cars.
This really took BMW to an area they didn't have any comfort though. This was stupid.
It was stupid.
And
I mean it's proof of why if you're a visionary, or you have a vision, or you do something unique, it's at this point it's a risky, bad idea. You can't do that anymore, because this really sort of fucked BMW with that. It just, these designs they're not good.